Maybe try saying, I need to spend time focusing on myself so that I will have the ability to care for others in the way that they need. Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am the Simplified 12-Week Year Girl here on YouTube. So if that is a topic that you're interested in, definitely subscribe and stick around. A lot can happen in 12 short weeks, but in order for your Simplified 12-Week Year to actually be successful, you have to be ready and you have to be prepared. Your mindset, your outlook, they have to be positive in order for this to work. At the end of the day, your success depends on you. So definitely check out my 12-Week Year playlist. I will link it above in the cards. If you are new to this topic, I have a ton of different resources to help you get started. But if you want to continue watching, I am so glad you're here. Today's focus regarding the Simplified 12-Week Year is directly related to mindset shifts. Your mindset can either make or break your progress when you are working toward achieving your goals and achieving success in your life. So if you're familiar with the content that I make here on this channel regarding this specific topic, then you know that I like to choose 5 different categories and also align my goals for the 12-week year to those categories, 1 goal per category. So I'm going to be using that same type of idea today as we talk about how mindset impacts your Simplified 12-week year. So for each category, I'm going to share a limiting belief or something that I've heard that's negatively focused or a negative mindset that's been adopted for each of these different categories. And then I'm going to share an option for how you can adjust your mindset and shift it to a more positive direction. Along with that, I'm going to be providing 3 tips to actually implement those changes and those mindset shifts so you can have a successful Simplified 12-week year. So go ahead and get your snack, get your drink, get your notebook ready, whatever you use to write things down. If you're going to type it in your notes on your phone, that's completely fine too. We're going to go ahead and get started on this topic. All right, so first up is home. I have often heard people say, well, my home isn't really that nice. It's not my dream home. It's not what I really want. So I'm just really not going to take that much care of it. But when I get my new place, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. It's going to be great. My home's going to be super nice and kept really well. Okay, here is the issue with that. If you are not taking care of the home you currently have, then nothing's really going to change when you get into a new space. So I want you to adopt a mindset shift and say, I am so grateful for the home that I have currently while I am working toward achieving my dream home. But in the meantime, I am going to treat my current home just as I would my home that I'm going to work for and gain in the future. I'm going to keep it nice and clean. I'm going to make sure it smells nice, and I'm going to take pride in where I live. Practice treating this space like you're gonna treat your next space. I feel like this applies to a car as well. There's no category for car, but the same idea. Don't say like, oh, I just keep this car dirty and nasty and I don't wash it, I don't care about it, but when I get my new one, it's gonna be great. Keep what you have as nice as you possibly can. So let's get into the 3 tips to make sure that in your home, you are actually able to implement this mindset shift and stick to it so you can add to your home goal for your 12-week year. The first tip is to make sure that you are keeping your home nice and clean. I like to call this tidy time when I'm working with my clients, literally scheduling in time every single day to work on cleansing and tidying up your space. It doesn't have to be the entire home, but it can be something like, you know what, I really want to make sure that the dishes are washed and the counter is wiped down before I go to bed. That was something that I started with, honestly, because of like cheap purposes. We have free nights and weekends in our energy plan. So I was like, well, look, I'm going to run the dishwasher at nighttime so we don't have to pay for that energy. But honestly, it really did help me get into a good routine of just cleaning up my kitchen the night before. So I wake up, I don't have to smell nasty, dirty, gross dishes. Everything is nice, clean, and fresh and set up for a successful day. Next up, you have to declutter and simplify. Oftentimes when I hear people say like, oh, I don't really like where I live or things like that, they're like, oh, it's just not big enough. That could potentially be the case. Your space may not be big enough to fit your needs. However, there's a good possibility that also you just have too much stuff. Go through your things, figure out what you don't need, throw things away that are expired or not usable, make a pile of things that you can donate to people who can actually need it, and just let it go. Simplifying is going to be extremely helpful. You'll know what you have, you'll know what you need, and you will feel like you have so much more space because it's not overcrowded with a bunch of things that you don't need. And lastly, this is a fun one, especially with a mindset shift regarding home for the 12-week year. That is to choose one space within your home where you already are and decorate that like you would in your dream home. So say for example, it's your bedroom. If you know like, hey, when I get my dream home, I want to have this type of aesthetic, or I want to have white bedding, or I want to have this certain type of curtains, whatever it is, if it's a rug, go ahead and decorate the space that you're already in like you would if you were moving into your dream home. Now, I know, of course, you're like, well, I'm trying to save for my dream home. Why am I going to invest all this money? Pick high quality things that can actually come with you. But these are also things that are going to help you enjoy the space that you're in now and just really motivate you and give you a vision for what your life is going to look like when you have a whole entire new home to decorate and make your own. Next up, we've got the health, fitness, wellness category that I love to do for my simplified 12-week years. So a super common limiting belief is I am doing all the work. I'm trying to work on my health, my fitness, and my wellness, but I'm not seeing any results. Go ahead and shift that. Instead of saying it's not working, say that the work that I'm currently doing for my health, my fitness, and my wellness are going to benefit me internally and externally over time. So you will know, hey, there's some good internal things going on that you can't even see that are happening. Maybe your energy is increased, or maybe your cholesterol is being lowered, your arteries are becoming unclogged. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or anything in that realm, but basically there are things that can be happening within your body from your health and wellness changes that you don't see initially. We always think sometimes external, like, oh, I want to lose weight or I want to look different in a certain way, and that's not happening, so it's not working. Remember, things have to work from the inside out first. So if you adopt the mindset that, hey, all of this is going to improve and develop over time, then that will help you to continually work toward achieving those goals and to stay motivated. Okay, that was kind of a bonus tip, but let's get into the official 3 tips to help you adjust your mindset and stick to it and improve your goals for the 12-week year regarding health, fitness, and wellness. The first thing is to create a wellness plan. So I literally did that for 2024, and it includes everything. So things that I want to do for my spiritual wellness, things I want to do for my physical wellness, what am I eating, what am I drinking, when am I going to bed? Everything is included in that plan so that I know exactly what I need to do every single day. It's literally broken apart. This is the type of workout that I do on Mondays. This is the type of workout that I do on Tuesdays. This is the drink that I have. Like Mondays I have kombucha. Tuesday I want to make a tea. I literally map it out so that I don't forget all the things that I want to do to enhance my wellness, but I also just don't get overwhelmed and not do it at all because I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be doing next. The next tip is to find a workout style that you enjoy. Don't do things that you don't like to do. It's so much harder to stick to a workout routine and to make it sustainable if you don't enjoy it. Try different things. Like, you will always hear me say how much I love ClassPass because I was able to try everything. I did Pilates, weight training, bar, spin classes, and so much more. I was able to try it all under the one umbrella of ClassPass, and then from there I can make a decision as to what type of workouts I actually enjoyed, and those are the ones that I stick with and have implemented into my fitness and wellness routine. And lastly, you want to make sure that meal prepping and meal planning is fun. It is a tedious process. I am not gonna lie. You have to plan what you're gonna eat, get the groceries for what you're gonna eat, and then prep a lot of it so you can be successful and actually use it throughout the week. However, it is worth it. You have to think about the fact that what you're putting in your body has a huge impact on you reaching your health and fitness goals. So definitely make it a fun process. I will play music, listen to podcasts, have YouTube videos playing in the background, make myself a glass of wine, dance around the kitchen during that time. If you do have someone else living with you, maybe cook with them and make it a joint thing that you do together. It's also like, hey, this is great for relationship building and it's really fun. So there are so many different things that you can do just to kind of make that time less like, oh, I have to do this, but more like, this is time that I get to set aside to prep food for my body and I'm gonna have fun while doing it. Next up is my business goal. So for me personally, like 2023, my 12-week year goals related to business were all about YouTube. So if you watched my last update, my goal was to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. That did not happen, but that's okay. We are still going strong in 2024. So again, if you are not subscribed, I would love it if you could help me reach my goal by subscribing to the channel. We are about 250 subscribers away from hitting that goal. So that would be fantastic. But there are also so many other business ventures. I think definitely I'm gonna be shifting, probably heading into Q3 of this year, shifting my business goal toward something else where I'm expanding my brand and not necessarily only focused on growing my YouTube channel. But anyways, a lot of time when people are thinking about business, especially if it is something that is very common, the limiting belief could be, I don't think I can be successful in this business, or the market is oversaturated. Honestly, I heard that from so many people. Oh, you're starting a YouTube channel? I feel like everybody has a YouTube channel. And now I'm one more person that also has a YouTube channel. It is okay. So shift your mindset to say, my perspective or the product that I'm offering is going to add value to someone's life. I am building my community, I'm working toward that, but I know that I bring something special and unique to this space. Now let's go ahead and get into the 3 tips for really making sure that you are well-rounded in planning out your business strategies as you're working toward your Simplified 12-week year goals. The first thing is you need to have a business plan. Business plans do require a lot of research in order to get them fully completed. Honestly, there are a ton of great templates that you can use for free if you have Canva. You can also find some great templates and resources on Etsy as well, but you need a plan. You need to have a point A to point B. How am I going to get there? Step-by-step guide to make sure that you are really working toward growing your business, scaling your business, or whatever your goal is in that regard. The second thing that you need to do is find resources. Really learn about your industry. Have informational interviews with people who are successful in the industry. Ask what they did, what worked for them. Find knowledge, build upon what you already know. Find what really works for you in order to grow and scale your business to where you would like it to be. And my third tip is to keep showing up and continue to be consistent. But with this tip, I do think it's important to have a timeline in mind, because sometimes the business that you're working on just is not the right business for you, and the time and energy that you're spending on it could be better spent somewhere else. So for example, with my YouTube channel, I knew I wanted to monetize my YouTube channel. Now that is a very long process, in my opinion. Some people, it just happens overnight, but a lot of times it can be a very long process. You have to reach 4,000 watch hours, and you also have to have 1,000 subscribers. So thinking about that is like, okay, this is a lot, but I knew that I didn't want to basically like lose any of the work that I have been doing. So I gave myself the year, and I said, look, if I'm not monetized on my YouTube channel within the year, then we're gonna move on to a new business goal. So that way it wasn't like I was just working and not getting ahead. So the way that it works is basically like you bank your watch hours for the videos that you produce within 365 days. So now if we're on to day 366, whatever I filmed on day 1, those watch hours no longer count. So even though I'm like, okay, I got 20 on day 366, I lost 20 from day 1. And so it's kind of like, you can't really get ahead. And I knew that for myself personally, that would not have made sense. So I set my goal, my timeline for that year. I was able to make it and achieve it, barely, like scraped by, but we made it. And I was like, all right, then I'm gonna keep on going with this YouTube thing. So just having that timeline in mind really helps you to make sure you are putting your focus in the right areas in order to grow your business in the way that you would like to. The next category is finance. So a lot of people struggle financially. This economy, not good. Issues have to be addressed. However, don't adopt a negative mindset and think that you cannot improve your financial situation. So a limiting belief could be, well, I've always struggled financially. I've never really had extra money or financial freedom, so that's just not something that's going to be a reality for me. I'm always going to struggle. Don't keep yourself in that box. Instead, shift your mindset to say, I can change and improve my financial situation. So that means that it's on you at this point. There are different things that you can consider to help improve where you are financially, and you have control over that area. It's not like, well, I'm just gonna struggle. No, you can do something about it. So 3 tips to help you in that category. My first one is to definitely diversify and gain an additional stream of income. I definitely think it's great to have multiple, but also the way your schedule's set up, timing may not always be an option. So just start off with 2. You have your main source of income, and what is something that you can do on the side that is going to increase your income. It may not be overnight, it can be another gradual thing, but add that in and start working toward it. The second tip is you cannot be afraid of your bank account. Don't have this scarcity mindset. You need to look at your accounts, look at your money, and budget on a regular basis. You have to know what is going on. If you are tracking and budgeting, you're able to see like, oh man, I'm paying all these late fees over here, or I have all of these subscriptions over there, and figure out what's really going on with your finances so that you can get them in order. One thing that I like to use personally is the zero-based budget worksheet. I found a template on Etsy and it has been really, really great because I'm able to say, okay, this is the income and this is the output. Those need to equal 0, or the remaining balance needs to be higher than a negative. So once I put it on paper, I'm like, oh, yeah, we're spending more than we're making. That's a problem. What can I do? So then I was able to go in, reevaluate, get rid of some bills, reshuffle, see what we needed to do in order to make it go to the positive side or equal 0 as opposed to going to the negative side. But being informed is what really made the difference. It made a huge impact. Okay, I kind of skipped ahead, but that basically leads to tip number 3, you need to be informed. So read about financial topics, watch videos here on YouTube about financial topics, listen to podcasts on financial topics, build your knowledge so that you know, because sometimes we're not taught a lot of things about finances, banking, budgeting, credit. All of these things can seem really overwhelming, even taxes. I'm learning something new every single year with taxes, but the point is I'm still informing myself. Like literally I have a little note where I'm like, oh, okay, what does it mean to take a loss on your business? I need to know that. Let me put that in my notes when I get that information, and ask questions, especially if you're paying an accountant. Their job is not only to work during tax time. Anytime I have a question, I'm like, hey, what's going on with this? I need to know more information, or I need a copy of this or that. Reach out, use your resources to build your financial knowledge so that when you set your financial goal, you can stick to it and be successful. And I wanted to save the personal category for last. A lot of times people think, oh, I don't deserve to focus on myself or work on my personal development. I have so many other things to do, so many other people to take care of. I can't be a priority right now. That is not gonna fly. You have to shift your mindset. Maybe try saying, I need to spend time focusing on myself so that I will have the ability to care for others in the way that they need. You can't give what you don't have. We hear it all the time. Pour into your own cup. And that is so important and so impactful when you are working toward a personal goal. So 3 tips that I have for this area are, first, identify your needs. What is missing? What is making me feel overwhelmed and run down and like I don't have enough time for myself? Do I need more rest? Do I need to make more time for personal maintenance? Identify what that is, and then move on to step 2, which is to find a solution. Do something about it. If you're like, okay, I've identified the problem, I need more rest, how can you make that happen? Do practical things. Look at your schedule. Ask your community for help. Figure out what you can do to really get more rest into your daily routine, and then track the progress of how that is benefiting you or making a positive impact on your life. And lastly, a fun one, you want to create a vision board. Having that like tangible, visualized object that you can look at that has all of your personal goals on it is going to keep you inspired and help you stay motivated as you're working toward reaching them. All right, so that wraps us up today. Just remember that mindset matters. Positivity, optimism, all of those things are extremely important when you're working toward any goal, but especially when you're trying to pack your goals into a 12-week period. So continue to think positively, continue to commit to your 12-week year, and remember, a lot can happen in 12 weeks and your life can truly change. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Affirmations with Amber.